Warhammer 40,000 11th edition is coming this June 2026, and I am so excited. And the big thing is all of the rules changes. That is what we are talking about in this video. All of the rules changes. And there are 6 big ones that they have released so far that I would like to cover in this video. But before we jump into all of the rules, let's give some quick context to what this edition is all about. Editions happen roughly every 3 years, and they are either rework of the game somehow or a little like an upgrade to the game. And this time it's an upgrade to make the game simpler for newer players and simpler for veterans as well. So that's good for both of us. It's like making everything better. It's not doing away with anything. Well, it's doing away with a few things, but it's like adding things back in. I'll get to that later though. Okay, enough about all that. Now let's actually get into the actual video, the part that you guys actually came for. The very first thing is that objective markers are gone. For the past 3 years, you fought over about circles, maybe 3 inches with radius, so maybe 6 inches in diameter, roughly. And your goal was to essentially capture them to gain board advantage, as of my understanding. And they are doing away with this because it makes the game not unrealistic, but not necessary. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to fight over a circle. Like, what advantage does that circle have? So instead, you are now fighting over important pieces of terrain. Things such as bunkers, maybe relics, maybe even shrines. This makes the battlefield feel more immersed. It feels more like an actual war game rather than like capturing a circle. Like, what does that circle have to help your team? It doesn't have anything. Nothing. Zip. And something I would like to note is that when they announced this at Adepticon, this had the biggest crowd reaction. So in other words, people were very happy about this. The second thing, and this is more important for veterans or people who have already bought codexes, because codexes are staying valid through the new edition, which is important because typically in past, every 3 years when a new edition arrives, you would do away with your current codex and buy the new one for your army, which is kind of ridiculous because then you'd have like 4 codexes for the past 12 years for each edition of the game, which is cool, but it doesn't make sense. But no longer. Now you get it, you keep it, and you stay with it. So that is important for anyone who may have bought a codex. Okay, the next thing is there are 70 brand new detachments. Wait, I can't be reading that right. 70? Yes, guys, that is correct. Your ears did not deceive you. There are 70 brand new detachments. Detachments are essentially rules or ways that you can help shape your army around. So, for example, if you wanted your Astra Militarum to be solely focused on tanks, you can have a tank detachment that will help you buff all of your tanks. That's important because now there are 70 of them. And their new system they are calling detachment points. So essentially you have a certain number of points and you can spend them on detachments. So you can have two detachments, maybe more. They haven't really released any of this information yet about this new system, but you can mix and match them so you can have maybe Bikes and Terminator detachments, or maybe, I don't know, you can have some pretty cool stuff. That's the point, all right? You can have some pretty cool interactions now, and this makes your army a lot more personalized to you. The fourth change has to do with the battlefield once again. Cover actually means something now. In 10th edition, it affected your saving throws, how well you had to roll, but now in the new 11th edition, it affects your attack roll. So essentially whether you get hit in the first place. This makes a lot more sense because before, people were just dying behind walls, and that makes no sense at all. And there is a new rule for infantry. If a infantry model is inside or behind a piece of terrain, it remains hidden until that infantry model shoots or an enemy gets within 15 inches of it. This makes your positioning, your tactics a lot more realistic and important to you. This makes all of these veteran players maybe like think a little bit more. They have to rewire their brains. Or us beginners don't have to do that, thankfully. Stratagem stacking is cleaned up. I haven't seen this before in any of the games that I had watched, but apparently in 10th edition you could pile multiple stratagems onto one unit at the same time. So the point in this being is that it got complicated very, very fast, and your one model could be like completely buffed. 11th edition kind of tightens this up and makes it a little bit more cleaner, which is better for us beginners once again because like the game is less overwhelming. See guys, there's so many upsides for joining 40K right now. Okay, we are on to our final change. Scoring has been tightened, and this is a very important one for scoring, obviously. The max primary victory points you can score has been dropped from 50 to 45. That might not sound like a lot, but there is another thing. The cap is 15 points per round of primary points. So this means that a player can't just run away with a game. It will cause closer games and better interactions, and it means that it's not entirely focused on primary points. It's also focused on your secondaries as well. This leads to, I guess, more competitive and more closer games, as I understand it. The bottom line of all of this, guys, is GW is making 40K 11th edition a lot cleaner, a lot more tactical, a lot more realistic, and a lot more fun. Oh, and obviously a lot more beginner friendly, if you haven't noticed that by now. If you guys were on the fence about whether you should join 40K or not, I highly recommend you do. And you can watch my previous video, which goes over what 40K 11th edition is, and all of like the backstory and all the information you need. If you want to watch that, guys, you can watch that video right here, where I talk about the new Armageddon set and everything that is dropping inside of that box set. That's all I've got for you guys now. Subscribe. My name is Zach. You guys are watching Warhammer Zone, and I will hopefully see you, if not in this video, my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and peace.